Some residents in Tempe expressing concern over a network of surveillance cameras that can find you all over the valley.
Yeah, and they're called flock cameras, and they're not the typical red light camera. They collect and then share your data.
Okay, you know how they say birds of a feather flock together? Well, some communities around the country are coming together to fight against what they say is a concerning form of surveillance. AI startup Flock Safety is building an army of police tech. They are most recognizable for their automatic license plate readers you may have heard of, which snap a picture of the car's plate as it drives by. Police say the technology helps them solve crimes like kidnappings, murders, and stolen vehicles. And while this tech, it has existed for some time, Flock is now the first to centralize it into a single nationwide database that thousands of police departments can access at any time without a warrant.
It's at the end, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities. When I wrote the book, I started to write it for years ago. It was published 3 years ago. It was sold, very interesting, over 1 million times in the world. And what is interesting is that 800,000 copies, more than 800,000 copies of those 2 million were sold in 3 countries alone: China, Japan, and South Korea. And you may be interested, who was the biggest buyer with 16,000 copies at the same time? It was the Korean military. Because the fourth industrial revolution will have a major impact also on warfare.
Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez is live to explain why many want the contract with the company to end. Ashley.
Yes, so the people I spoke to today say that these cameras are a part of a rapidly growing AI surveillance network. And as you mentioned, they don't just collect your data when you commit a crime like running a red light or stealing a car. They collect your data all the time. And they don't just share that data with law enforcement agencies. They can share it with private companies, businesses, HOAs, anyone who subscribes to Flock services.
My name is Bobby Nichols. I'm a Tempe resident of 25 years.
Bobby Nichols stands before the Tempe City Council, hoping to call attention to the city's numerous Flock cameras, a system intended to capture a vehicle's fingerprint and share the information in the name of solving crimes.
This is a clear abuse of our sensitive and personally identifying information.
Nichols, now a candidate for city council, says the cameras that are in nearly every state are used by thousands of police departments and businesses.
They capture every single car that passes by. They capture information about the make and model of the car, the license plate, who's driving the car, age, name, race, information like that, down to bumper stickers.
Flock has recently partnered with Ring doorbell cameras, adding even more information to their database. He says to sell and use to train their future AI models. Flock says it does not sell data without consent from the customer. But when the customer is police departments or businesses, it's not clear where your personal information will end up.
Flock can record different meetings that people go to, medical or religious institutions, and can build out basically an individual schedule based on tracking where their vehicle goes.
In a statement to Fox 10, Flock pointed to agencies collaborating with Homeland Security in Michigan to crack open an online child trafficking ring. But citizens point to other examples of personal data being shared.
And in one case, there was a woman who attempted to get an abortion out of state in Texas, and Texas used Flock's database to track her around the country.
But there is concern. Flock has built in a back door where subscribers, including ICE, can still access the personal information of millions of unaware people.
So it's a real concern of who is accessing data that is stored by Flock and for what reason. It's a real concern on our right to privacy.
At the same time, we are witnessing rapid technological advances with many opportunities and with artificial intelligence rapidly transforming our production and our lives. And breakthroughs from the fourth industrial revolution provide new opportunities for global prosperity and growth. All those factors will have a profound impact on the future of humanity, provided we are able to work together. To drive future economic growth, we must embrace innovation and foster collaboration across sectors, regions, nations, and cultures to create a more peaceful, inclusive, sustainable, and resilient future. At this critical juncture, the active participation of all stakeholders is essential to ensure a sustainable development path. I'm delighted that close to 2,000 leaders from multiple sectors, representing some 80 countries and regions, have come to Dalian for this year's meeting.
Right. So the U.S. has had for years these cameras that record cars' license plates as they drive by certain highways, spots, intersections in towns and cities. But what communities across the country are pushing back on now is that Flock Safety has for the first time created this centralized database where more than 3,000 law enforcement offices across the country are working together, sharing real-time location information of everybody that drives by. None of them need a warrant to access it. So I spoke with half a dozen people from a range of political affiliations who are pushing back. And there's definitely something in the air. For some people, it's this looming sense that as tech tracks us more and more, they're getting sick and fed up of feeling like they're being tracked. And these cameras are the biggest example of that. For others, it's the reality that even though Flock no longer contracts directly with the Department of Homeland Security, local police in sanctuary cities even have been using Flock contracts to look up drivers' locations on behalf of ICE to aid with investigations. And they want to stop their local police, their tax dollars from doing that.
I see. Kevin, we know that this kind of tech is growing in popularity. It has been for some time. Do we know if it's actually solving a significant amount of crimes and really helping police across the country?
I mean, yeah, Flock has a range of solved cases. They'll have local police come on and testify that, yes, this technology was helpful to close an investigation. A spokesperson there told me that despite the price tag, it's a crucial tool for understaffed police departments in particular. And they noted that even though we noted more than half a dozen cities and towns in recent months have canceled their Flock contracts over protests, far more have renewed those contracts. But something that I did find over the course of my reporting is that it's extremely common for people in these cities and towns that have Flock set up. That happens before they realize their tax dollars are used for this technology that even tracks them to begin with. So we'll see how this shapes up as more and more people learn about it.
Absolutely. Kevin Collier, very interesting stuff.